This video is for Michelle Robinson. It's a little bit about translucency drops and how it's done. I'm going to try to move quickly. I don't claim to be an expert on this. There's, special products and everything else, but I'm talking about doing this on a high school level. Okay, so if you'll look here, we have a little sample drop. And right now, the light is hitting it from the front, like this. So you can see it's a lovely landscape, right? But if we change the lighting to where the front light goes away and back light comes up, we can change the time of day, right? We can change the weather conditions. It's called a translucency drop, and just by changing the light back and forth from the front to the back, we can see what's on the back of the drop. Now what it looks like on the back is just the sky, okay? And on the front, it's the landscape. What we have to do is we have to paint very thin, very watery paint on the front so that when we change the light, it doesn't prevent the light from coming through the paint on the back. Okay? So that's a landscape. That's a pretty common, pretty easy to do thing there. Sometimes you get a different kind of surprise. I had a student that did this one a few years ago, where when we change the light from the front to the back, we get to see shadows appear, right? So there's all sorts of little fun surprises you can get from just changing the light. You can change the scenery a whole lot just from your light. The last one I'm going to show you, I don't claim to have come up with this originally. This was an idea that I saw a student at North Carolina School of the Arts do 15 years ago. But I liked it so much I wanted to try it myself. So it was a show that took place in Vietnam, and so it was like a jungly look on the set. And then at the end, when they're all dead, can't even remember the name of the play. When they're all dead, we leave the jungle and it turns into the Vietnam Memorial, right? So again, it's just a little bit of lighting change. You can make these huge, dramatic, scenic things. It's just painted on the back, right? It just allows the light to come through where the paint is not. Okay. So the way to build these is you build a flat, right? This is a Hollywood flat. This is a Broadway flat. It's got corner blocks. I don't recommend using the Broadway style. I recommend using the Hollywood style where the framing members are on edge. I've got an LED light behind here right now which has multiple points of light coming out of it. But generally you're going to have like an incandescent light which will have one point of light coming through. So what you see when you've just got the empty frame and you change the light is you see the corner blocks come through, right? See the corners? So you want to make sure that your image doesn't extend over the corner or the corner will get into your image. So what I do is I just make a square that'll fit inside for my image, and then I use this little area along the edges as a place to test and see if the paint is thin enough that the light will come through, right? So this is my test area all along the edge. And then when I'm done, and I've got the image the way I want it, I just paint over it and make a nice black border, okay? So you take your frame, you stretch your fabric over it, and then you have to seal it, okay? Here's an example of a project a student started a couple of years ago. They made their frame out of like 2x2, so it doesn't have to have corner blocks. It's stable enough. And at that time, they tried using polyurethane as a sealant, and I don't recommend that. That oil-based polyurethane makes everything very crackly, and it's just horrible. Don't use oil-based polyurethane. What I recommend is using an acrylic-based paint like this, polyacrylic. It looks kind of milky when you put it on. Don't put a fan on it or it will always look milky. It'll never dry clear. But it would do a lot better job than this polyurethane. and it seemed like there was something else I was going to say. Oh yeah. You want to put the polyurethane or sealant on the back side so that when you paint your clouds or whatever your surprise is, it doesn't bleed through to the front and ruin the surprise. One more thing I want to show you is another flat here that a student did a few years ago. It's not super great artwork, it's just a skyline here with a sky. But what he did in the background is he tried to create fireworks. So when you bring it up, you can see his fireworks that came through. And that was done, let me take that white down. He just drew them with hot glue, then painted over it. When he was done, he peeled the hot glue away to leave the raw canvas exposed. So that worked pretty well as well. I'm sure there's things you have questions about, things I didn't cover. You can email me, but it was easier to do this with a video than to email you this. Okay, thanks.